Hey guys, welcome back to another trade review. So on this recap, we're going to go ahead and go over everything in between from the last recap. So I believe on the last recap it was about 15 days in, somewhere around there. Well, we're going to hit that 30-day mark. I guess that's where we're going to leave it. It's 30 days, and then we're going to go over a whole month review. So this time around, we're going to cover everything from the last recap and then 15 days after. So once we hit that 30-day mark in the account, we're going to go over that whole month of trading. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in on these last couple trades here and break down the whole thing for an end of the month review. Oh, I should have taken my entry there. Oh, I could still get in here, but oh my god, I had seen this huge buyer. I don't know if you guys were able to see that. All right, so on GWH, starting off, there's several reasons I didn't take this trade. One, it was completely out of my price range. It's at $18 already, and normally I trade something below 13, so that's already a red flag. Two, I mean, it's really volatile and the spreads are pretty big. So they're about, like right here for a second, it was 50 cents and 30 cents, 20 cents. You know, they're pretty big spreads, and you know, right off the bat, as soon as I take an entry, I'd be down 20 cents or so, let's just say. And that's already way past my, my stop loss. So I hesitated there. Third reason was because the 5-minute and the 10-minute were looking pretty bad at the time of, my hesitation when I was considering getting in. They looked pretty bad. They were both red, and they just came out of a halt. So I didn't want to see this thing flush on me, kind of like how NTRB did in the beginning of the day. So one major sign as to why I should have held this position, why I should have taken this position, is because when it was hitting my support line here, it already had 2 pullback candles, and this third one was the perfect one. It was low volume, the volume was decreasing. Next thing you know, this next 1 minute just takes off all the way to 20. So I hesitated. I could have gotten at 1850, 1867, 1870 even, but I didn't take the entry. And I knew as soon as I had seen that huge seller that this thing was going, sky high. So I could have taken my position. I had that urge to want to take it, but I got so nervous on it. I hesitated so much because I was expecting a flush on it that I bailed. I didn't want to take it. So the reason I should have taken this was because it wasn't necessarily an obvious curl. It was, its third candle down. It could have just flushed on the next 1 minute, but it was holding 18. It was holding the whole dollar, perfectly. It held 18, tapped 18. Next thing you know, it's at 1850, 1850, 1840, 1830, 1850, and it's just holding this 1850 level for quite some time. So that should have been a dead giveaway, especially in the last couple seconds here of the candle. I should have known, oh shoot, this thing can definitely rip on this next 1 minute. So even if I hesitated on this one candle, I should have taken an entry on the next 1 minute for that surge all the way through 19. Maybe my target would have been 20, no idea, but I probably would have sold at 1950, somewhere around there. But regardless, I should have gotten at least on the second 1 minute candle. So that was definitely my mistake. If I didn't take my entry here, I should have taken on the next one, because either way it would have been a pretty good payday, I'd say. So let's see, 1128 is the high. I don't want to see a flush down. See if we can get a pullback here and then a rip. So this is a break to 1150. It rejected the level. Back to 1130. Back to 1160 now. So that was a nice break, clean break. Back to 12. Wow, that was a really clean break. So this was the perfect entry to get in on. Obviously, I didn't take it though. Okay, on JSPR, I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, hey, idiot, get in, right? I think the same thing. Like, what am I doing? I look back at it now. This was even more obvious than the last trade. So, I don't even know what to say about this one. It was a clear curl. This thing was obviously going. Why I didn't take it, no idea. Right at VWAP, tap VWAP, and it even bounced. Is holding 11, held 11. Not only was the VWAP there, but the whole dollar was there. So this should have been like a dead giveaway. Hey, take your entry on at least this 1 minute candle. Similar to GWH, you know, I should have entered on this pullback candle here. It was obviously holding, held for 2 candles in a row. Didn't have a support line necessarily, but clearly the support's right here, so in this range. So the whole dollar's there, VWAP's there. Should have been an obvious sign. Hey, take the entry for this rip towards 12. You know, I completely missed out on this opportunity, and that's on me. So, you know, same setup as I mentioned earlier, same setup as GWH, pull back, just resumed from a halt, same situation, pulled back, held support. Next thing you know, it's ripping. Should have known better. That was definitely on me. I'm gonna buy in here for the break. 1244 is where I'm in at. 1260. Let's see if we can get this 1270. Selling there. So it hit the high here. I think it even broke its high. So there we go, quick $80. I was going for the break at 13, but I had seen a seller stacked at 70. Once we broke that level, I just felt it was gonna kind of hold or just stay in that range. And okay, let's see if we can get back in here. So there's a break at 13. Okay, so shortly after that move happened, you know, I noticed that this was starting to form a bull flag. It started pulling back here, and it looked, you know, really, really good for an entry. So took my entry here, and the trade went pretty well, I'd say. Everything worked out. You know, I got in at 1244 and then sold somewhere around 1270. About a 30-cent move there. Seen this huge seller here at 70, and as soon as I'd seen that, I sold. I just took a quick glance, saw him, and I was like, I probably gotta stop out. You know, looking at it at the time, I was like, oh, that was a good sell. But I mean, obviously, I kind of regret it because it broke through that level, went all the way back to 1290, and my overall target should have been the break of this 5 minute high. So even here in the 80s or 90s, I should have sold, but then again, 13 was right there. So this thing could definitely make that move through 13. If we had just seen a huge rip from 1080 all the way to 1260. So there's no reason I should have doubted this one to actually break from, you know, almost a bottom of 12 all the way through 13. This thing definitely had the potential. So my overall target should have been 13, and that was just my fault selling too quick. I hesitated once I seen that huge seller, but clearly it went all the way to 1320, and then now it's kind of selling off after 13. This thing is forming several bull flag patterns, though. You're going to see that in this next position that I take. So, I mean, at the time it looked okay. I just got nervous because it was holding VWAP. It's trading kind of awkwardly at VWAP, and although it was holding, I was just not sure about it. So that was a nice quick rip here. I wasn't paying attention. That would have been a nice move here too. Low is 69. High is 69. Low is 84. It's really extended. I'm gonna have to wait for a major pullback. But even then, I think I'd be catching the back end of the move because I mean it obviously had this huge climb from 75 all the way to 450 or 1450. All right, so as you heard, I just completely missed this move. It was not only an obvious bull flag, just the same as this last one, exactly the same. I missed this entire write-up because I was too busy talking. So instead of me running my mouth out here, I should actually start paying attention a little more to these trades because clearly I missed a huge move here from 1275 all the way to 1360. That was almost $1 a share, and I think it actually continues a little higher. But regardless, I mean, this was a really obvious move. Not only was this an obvious move, but this was an even more obvious move just because it just happened in the previous couple candles. So, you know, this one, okay, comes out of a halt, whatever, pulls back, should have got in. That was kind of obvious. Bull flag formed, got in, you know, kind of rode the wave, not really. Next thing you know, this third bull flag happens, and I completely missed the move. I thought for some reason it was going to reject hard, and I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking, but for sure I missed this opportunity as well. Jeez, I was waiting for a better entry. I was definitely gonna get in on right here on this 1 minute candle. I was gonna get in at 1760, but missed my entry there for sure. That would have been really, really nice. I could have gotten at 76 anytime at 76, but I just wanted to get a little better entry at 60. Dang. Dang is right, because boy oh boy, I missed this huge move here from 1720 all the way back to 1820. So that was a really big move. Basically could have been a $300 trade if I actually sold from, where I said all the way to the top. But most likely it wouldn't have happened, but I could have sold maybe at 18. Could have been a $200 move here. I missed out on the whole thing for several reasons. One, the MACD here, it looked like it was going to cross. That was my first sign of hesitation. I was like, it doesn't look so hot. Pre-market, it was kind of hovering around 17 level, 1720. And it looked good for a curl. Like, it actually looked pretty good on the 1 minute. But, the MACD made me hesitate. Second thing was outside of my price range. This thing's at $18 right now, $17. And, I don't normally trade that range. It's usually around $4 to $13 in that range somewhere. So that was another reason. And the last reason was because I don't ever trade the first minute. Like, the first minute is usually very whippy, very choppy, and I don't typically trade the first minute. I'll sometimes do it, but most of the times in which I do, it's huge gamble. I know that, and I usually lose. So I don't trade the first minute. But this one actually held support for a little bit at 1720, 1730. It had just dropped, and usually they flush and continue downwards, but this one actually held its 1730 level. So this was an obvious time to get in because it had just rejected. It was holding a little bit, below VWAP, but then it popped above VWAP, and it was holding this range just like it was pre-market. So this was clear support. I didn't take my entry. I kind of just fumbled it there, saw it. Next thing you know, this thing takes off all the way to 1820. So, let's just say after this candle, this next 1 minute opens. On the dip right here to 1740, 1750, VWAP's right here. It just held this level. It finished, with high green volume down here. You can see a lot of green volume coming in there. I should have known that this 1 minute candle could have broken this last 1 minute high and potentially broke high a day, made high a day. But I don't know. I again stumbled. I didn't want to take the trade. If I would have got in here at 1750, it went all the way to 1830. It definitely could have been, at least a 50-cent move there for the break of 18. But as you see here, MACD's finally crossing, and this thing ends up going south until, later on in the day it actually recovers, I believe, and starts shooting up again. And I should have bought that dip, actually, just added on my position. Don't want to see this break its 1 minute high, which it just did. I don't want to see that. Dang, so a little early on my entry, kind of sucks. Should have bought this dip, should have added to my position, actually. I was debating, but I don't want to see this flop and flush below 12 or something like that. So now it's back at 1350. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm reviewing these trades right now, and I'm just thinking, like, what was I thinking, right? What was going on? This is a good potential entry here that I just completely missed. I was thinking about it. I remember this day. I was thinking about it, but I just hesitated so much. 1290, it broke below 13, hit 1290, bounced up, held above 13. That should be my first sign, like, hey, 1307, 1308, get in, because this thing is going in the right direction. The MACD here looks like it wants to cross. It looks like it's going, going back up here. So that should be a good indicator to get in. However, I missed that entry. This next 1 minute candle gave me another opportunity. Like, hey, you can get in here again, retry. Didn't take it. It kind of flashed down here. That's another reason why I didn't take it. I wanted it to kind of dip, but it just had a quick flash down, held 1320. Next thing you know, it's all the way at 1350. So this was a really solid move here. My initial entry on it was a candle prior back here. I had the same idea, but wrong timing, I guess. If anything, I could have added on this position, but I think I already hit my stop loss. I got it at 13.13 and my stop loss is 15 cents. So I was 1 cent off of that. You know, I stopped out with 14 cents, hit my stop loss. Could have definitely added on my position, or could have definitely taken another position and just rode this momentum all the way up. But, you know, I missed out on this whole trade, and that's just on me. Okay, well, I waited too long then. So there's a quick pop through 70. And now we're seeing a 1 minute MACD curl. I just realized that. 5 minute also just broke. Oh, I did not see that. So totally my fault. Now I just hit this resistance level once again. Broke through. See if we can break through 14. So clearly this, that should have been my perfect entry here, but whatever. Totally missed that move. Break through 14 here. Really nice move there. Okay, so shortly after here, we see this candle. After I missed this entire move here, I was kind of like, where else can I get in? I'm pretty sure I was viewing the MACD at this point, but for some reason I didn't look at it at this point, you know. I just noticed as soon as it broke this high that the MACD actually crossed, as I mentioned in the video. Like, you know, I didn't notice that. I also didn't notice the 5 minute just opened, and I also didn't notice the 10 minute also just opened and broke the high. So these three major indicators should have been a reason why I should have gotten in and taken this trade right off the bat. Like, even on this red candle, I could have bought the dip and actually just rode this momentum all the way through 13.50, potentially to 14. The overall target should have been this resistance line here for it to at least sell around 13.80, 13.90. That would have been my target. Whether this actually broke 14 or not, you know, I wasn't for sure, but I did think it had the potential, you know, looking back in hindsight. I don't know. I completely missed this entry. All these three indicators, like I said, though, should have been a major reason why this trade should have taken place. But because I just hesitated, I already missed this whole move here. I just lost in this position. Everything else was going without me. I didn't want to fall into FOMO, and I felt like this is exactly what I'd be doing if I took this trade. Obviously, it worked out in my favor, though, if I actually did take it. But I don't know. Next time. I'm gonna buy in here. 1175. Definitely not a good move. So there's $200 gone right there. Oh wow. So immediately loss of $200. Risky trade there, but quick pop through 12 and then all the way flash back down. So see if we can get in again for take another trade here. So definitely should have held my position. I was down pretty good amount for sure, but I'm surprised with my loss, $200. That's nothing. And look at that, right into another halt. So definitely should have held my position. Took a loss on that while it's, you know, going up. So all right, so on PHUN here, as soon as this thing opens, I see a quick flash down to 1150. I'm not even looking at the ask or the level 2 here. I'm just looking straight at the chart. I had seen it drop down to 11, and I was like, oh, let me go ahead and buy in. You know, I try to buy the dip. Next thing you know, I get a really bad fill at 1175, and then I look at the ask, or I look at the level 2, my bad. Look at the level 2. I don't look at the bid though. I look straight at the ask. I see the ask is over here at 1102, and I'm like, oh no, if I let this thing break 11, this thing's gonna flush all the way to 10, and then from 10 to 9, and I'm gonna lose a lot of money. So I looked at, you know, my entry, and I knew I was at 1175 here, caught some major slippage. Next thing you know, I sell. I'm like, this is already almost $1 a share. What am I doing? Exit my position just so this thing can actually take off on the same candle. But, you know, even on the next candle, pulled back here. I wanted to get in. I was saying, you know, let's look for another position. But in the back of my mind, I was thinking like FOMO. I'm definitely chasing this. I don't want to get in up here. I'm just trying to make my money back. I can't fall into that. So, I mean, if I did, obviously it would have worked out even better than my original position. But knowing that I was already down 75 cents and how anxious I was getting to take another trade, you know, I was getting real like full of adrenaline, and I knew I was acting on my emotions. So held back, just decided to take the L. this thing would have definitely been, the trade of the week for sure. It would have been a solid trade if I actually took it, acted on my emotions. But, I had to have some self-discipline there and just take the loss. My stop loss for the day is 150. Once I crossed that, I had to stop trading for the rest of the day. So once I hit that was kind of it. But this one was more of a gamble. I mean, after a halt, it's so volatile usually. It's extremely whippy, especially in the opening candle. Then sometimes the next candle is a little whippier, but usually they kind of consolidate or they make a move like immediately. So I was expecting a quick rip, knowing how it acted in these past 2 candles here. But clearly it didn't go my direction. So, well, it did, but not in the beginning. So I'm gonna buy in. Oh, I forgot I can't buy this one. I was gonna say I'm gonna buy in here at 73 for the break on the 10 minutes as well as the 5 minutes. So that would have worked out perfectly. Probably would have held for the break of 8 most likely, but can't take the trade. Like I said, I'm not sure what's going on. That actually really sucks. 773 all the way to 930 now. See if this gets in a halt at 943. Crazy, man. All right, on CRTD, you saw I tried to take an entry here. Unfortunately, I wasn't filled. Something was going on with my broker or something. I couldn't trade this stock with margin. As you guys know, I usually trade with margin on my account, just because it's a small account. I get like 4 times leverage. Once I hit 2,500, I get 6 times leverage. So with this one, I was thinking I could definitely take a position. I was able to trade PHUN right here at 11 or whatever, $11 a share. And next thing you know, I try to get in on this one, rejected. My entry would have been around 775. I would have been looking for the break of 8 at least. As you all know, it obviously went way past 8. It went all the way to 930 or just about 940, something like that. So definitely a huge move on this candle. I don't know. It's unfortunate I wasn't filled. Reason I did get in on this one is because I was looking for that 5-minute break. I was also looking for that 10-minute break. I thought the 10-minute had a lot of potential, and I would have held this one definitely for the break of 8. How high, I'm not exactly sure. I know this 10-minute high here was just not too far away from about 820. That's most likely where I would have sold. For the break of 8, for sure I would have sold. But if it went beyond 8 to like 840, 850, something like that, I probably would have sold there as well. I don't think I would have wrote this all the way to 9. I don't know. It's just really unfortunate I didn't get filled. A little bit extended off of VWAP, kind of up there, but I felt extremely confident once I had seen that 10-minute and 5-minute setup here. It just pulled back on the 5-minute. I like that. Wasn't quite like a bull flag or anything, but it did hold its level, and obviously it had potential to rip. So kind of sucks I missed it, but that's it. Okay, so where does that leave us now? After 30 days of trading in this small account, what was the result? What's the P&L? I'm sure you guys are wondering. So the P&L, like the total loss of the 30 days, the total loss came out to $1,334.86. The total win came out to $377.82, putting my win-loss ratio at about 22%, 22.06%. What? That's pretty bad. Honestly, that's really bad. However, I did a comparison. In the beginning of the month, before I went ahead and did my trade review or whatever, I had a significant loss of $888.35, and that was compared to my win, which is $192.07. So like the first 15 days, just about somewhere around there, before my first trade review, I had a 17.8% win-loss ratio, which is even worse than I guess the total combined, right? Less trades, makes sense. So after my trade review, I had slightly improved. My loss after my first trade review, like my total loss after the first trade review came out, which is again about 15 days in, It came out to $446.51. Now compare that to my win, the amount I won, the total net after, my first trade review. It came out to $185.12, putting my, win-loss ratio at 29.3% after my trade review. So, like I said, total monthly recap, it was about a 22.06% win-loss ratio. Not the best. However, knowing that the two differences between, prior to reviewing my trades and after reviewing my trades, knowing that there was some percent difference there, over 10%, about 12%, I think, knowing that there was that big difference, I'd say that these trade reviews really do help me out to an extent. If you compare that to my current win-loss ratio on this new month of November, I guess new month in the account in general, right? Starting from a new 30-day period. My total win is $454.24, with my total loss right now being $34.92. So that puts my win-loss ratio at 92%. I'm really up there, 92.8%, I believe. So I have basically nothing on the loss, and it's a huge difference when you compare the two. I guess two results so far. I mean, I've definitely learned a lot in just this short amount of time after my trade review. I don't know. It's definitely been a great week last week, and even the week prior, it was actually pretty good finishing up the week. So things have definitely been changing. I've been learning a lot. I've been trying to hold my positions a lot longer, learn from my mistakes, and improve on myself. So like I said, right now on this current month, I'm at 92.8% win-loss ratio. The last month, you compare that to the last month, it was 22.06. I know it's just like the first week, but a huge difference for sure. I think it's a huge difference. Now, if you compare all of that, like let's just say from the first trade review till now, like till this, most recent week, if you compare those two, my total loss was $481.43, and my total win so far is $639.36. So that puts my win-loss ratio at 57.05%. 57%, I mean, that's pretty good. It's about 50-50, it's almost 1-1. But it's a little over that, which is awesome. It's great to see that I'm actually progressing. So since my first trade review till now, like I said, I'm at 57% win-loss ratio, and it's only going up from there. I'm I'm really hoping that this strategy, this new stuff that I'm working on, actually helps me out. It seems like it's working so far. Reviewing my trades, actually analyzing where my mistakes are, and improving on them. I still have things to improve on, like I said, holding my trades, not hesitating, just being a little more open to holding these positions a little longer and stuff. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pull up Trader View so you guys can see my total progress on this last month and a half or so that I've been trading, last 2 months, I think. All right, guys, welcome to Trader View. So this is where I usually upload all my trades. I always put all my trades here after, every day of trading. Sometimes I completely forget. I'm in such a hurry after editing the videos and stuff. I just completely forget to upload them, and then I skip a day or something. So this has happened a couple times in this, 2-month period. Not gonna lie. So I did miss out on a couple trades. So the data here is not gonna be completely accurate, but I'm gonna try and keep up to date with each one. So anyway, several things to keep in mind here. The data, first off, as I just mentioned, it's not going to be exactly the same, just because I completely forgot some days to edit it, or input this into the, I guess, Trader View. The second thing is I like to make adjustments to the trades themselves. So for example, if we go to, let me see, reports view, right? Let's say I go to reports view, pull up the calendar. Let's just say my last trade last week, so $125. Well, after commissions and stuff, Trader View doesn't account for commissions. There might be a way to do it. I don't do it. I haven't figured out a way. I haven't looked too much into it, if I'm being totally honest. So to account for that, what I do is I adjust the prices here. So I'll go to advanced, I'll edit it, and let's just say on the day I made $125 or something, and this trade said I made like $100. Well, in this trade, I'll just, break it down a little bit just to make sure that for the month or for the day, let me see if I go back to reports view, that for the day it's actually going to show that I made that amount. So let's just say I was supposed to make 130 that day. I always make it a little less just to, kind of account for commission. So I always try to keep it a little less than what I actually made that day. Or even losses. I'll make them a little bit bigger, if not like break even with what I actually lost that day. Just so that way I can more or less be on the same page in this account or in this, TraderVue profile as my actual account. So with that being said, let's go to the detailed view. So my total gain and loss as of right now is estimated around $379. I'm pretty much down that amount. My win-loss here is actually 51 to 48, which is pretty interesting. Obviously it's not all the trades that were uploaded, so it's still interesting to see that I'm still on top here. As you know, we calculated it, and overall after the trade review, like everything after trade review, the first one, I am at a win-loss ratio of 57%. So this is not too far off. But like I said, after the entire month, I was at a 22%, win-loss ratio. So not looking so hot. But my overall gain, my largest gain apparently, was $138, with my biggest loser being $370. Oh wait, actually, my largest loss being $264. It's still not that big of a loss compared to, other losses I've had for sure. But, we definitely worked on that. My losses recently have been, very low, which is awesome. I've been working on my risk reward ratio. And so that thing's really paying off now. I'm actually stopping out on my losses pretty quick, which is great. As you can see here on the cumulative P&L. Started off pretty good, made 156. Next thing you know, it's a slow decline. I'm all the way down to negative $833 according to TraderVue. But now we're on a steady incline. So hopefully we can keep this momentum up. And by next month, we can finally cross above this threshold here of, and make it back above to positive P&L. So that'd be really great if we can. But we're going to go ahead and see in this next month what we can do. Go to overview, recent. Okay, so you can see a lot more red, larger red candles than blue, obviously. But recently we've been getting a lot of blue, which is awesome. A lot of solid trades coming in. The beginning of the month it was pretty sloppy. Things were pretty bad. This was prior to the trade review. This is when the first trade review, I believe, came out. Somewhere in this range here. Next thing you know, we're still taking losses. I didn't input all my trades. My bad. I completely forgot. Still taking some big losses. This was a total gamble on this one. That's with the PHUN that we just reviewed. And then after that, it's just win from there. I've been doing pretty good, I'd say. There is a loss that's supposed to be, I think here somewhere. I'm on like a 3 or 4 day win streak right now. Again, I forgot to input that trade, so. This is more or less a breakdown. For those of you who've never used TraderVue, I highly recommend it. I'm not sponsored by TraderVue or anything, but they, really break down a lot of your information here. If you pay for their main service and you upgrade, you can actually get a lot more detailed information for sure. But I really like this software, or I like this website. I use them all the time. It really keeps track of my overall progress, and if anybody's considering doing something like this, or just, they're too lazy to actually make a whole Excel document or something like that, then for sure, I definitely recommend this website. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. I hope you all enjoyed the trader review. I know it took a long time for this to come out. Super sorry about that. Like I said, some things came up. Even this week, some stuff came up, but I'm it's 9:34 right now. I'm actually still needing to study for a couple more hours, so I'll be up pretty late tonight studying, and I just really need to get this out for you guys. So hope you all liked it. If there's anything you want to see different, or improvements on my videos or whatever, be sure to comment that below. And with that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow.